Hi, my name's Shane. That's Alan. That's Dave. We're the Crafty Boys. That's for you, Dave.
Holy.
Welcome to the latest episode 150. Shane has to look. 58 of the Crafty Boys. This week, we're going to talk about Beer Fest, and we're going to talk about how beer is awesome. And also why Dave didn't get the beer this week, because he's a complete tool.
Tool of the oppressor.
My work is done here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So hi, guys.
What is the beer this week, Shane?
Oh, right. Well, I actually had no idea the other day who was supposed to pick the beer, but that's okay because we went to Beer Fest.
The other day being yesterday.
Shut up, Dave. So anyway, but this beer that I found at the beer store a couple of weeks ago from reflection from
Red Arrow
Brewing, who are on the island.
Duncan, British Columbia.
There you go. Apparently, this has been around. I don't recall seeing it here before, but I may not have noticed because I wasn't looking for it. But although I will note that Red Arrow beer on the mainland has become more of a regular thing. Before, it was kind of a specialty thing, I think, for us anyway. But anyway, Sweet Leaf IPA, which is a beer from that company, and it has an international beer unit rating of 65, which means it's a bright amber because it says so on the bottle. But that's okay. Some of the best things happen over a beer. Ideas are forgotten, friendships are forged, and every now and then breweries are born. This holds true for Red Arrow Brewing, which is the culmination of friendships and unbridled hop-fueled desire. Okay. Utilizing the finest, blah, 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 we make good beer. But anyway, there you go. Distinct and pungent and floral, Sweet Leaf is an essence of the island. So, Dave, before we crack this baby open, which is the official beer this week, what sad exclusive a beer did you bring to the table?
Ooh. I don't know if we want to diss these guys.
And go.
I don't know. Go, Dave. Impress us.
Well, I got Steam Works.
What is it?
It is the
I think he forgot how to read.
Frambozen.
Oh, the Frambozen. Okay. All right, then.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay, I take back the sad beer excuse comment, but
it's a fruity kind of beer to go with a fruity kind of Dave.
With the fruity kind of Dave? Dave? What?
Nothing.
He's got a fruity kind of Dave. Okay.
All right. So I want to
let's do this.
Dig into this Sweet Leaf here because I got to say I've been drinking Sweet Leaf since it came out a few years ago.
That is true. Alan has talked about this
on the show ever since, but I know that Shane couldn't get it. So
shit.
I didn't.
Oh, Allison, help! 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 I'm spilling beer everywhere.
We're having a
beer
disaster.
Exploded. Help! Help! It's overflowing. You suck. There. Damn it! What happened? How did this occur? Oh my lord! Yeah, get out of here, PA Gallery. Wow. Okay. I don't know what just happened there. I didn't hit it or bang it or anything. But that's the head I'm getting right now. So, can I have a cloth, maybe? I kind
of. While Shane is cleaning up, I'm going to open mine with my Bose All Natural Brewing bottle opener that I got at Beer Fest this past.
Hey, I've still got the Bally penis.
Yeah, you do. I hope mine isn't going to explode now.
Hey, Dave, open up. I'm just going to pass you the. People can't tell, but this is like at the very bottom of the screen there.
I have no exploding beer, Shane. So
yeah, I don't know what happened there. Exploding beer, but that's okay because I'm sure it'll taste just as good. But yeah, so this beer has been sitting in my fridge for a couple of weeks, or a week at least, and it's very cold, and I'm very pleased.
Good.
Now let's see what it smells like. Let's see what it smells like. Go ahead, Dave or Alan.
What?
I was waiting for you to take a shot across my bow. Dave, how is yours smelling? Mine actually smells. You know how you get an IPA?
Yeah.
And then you get stuff on your nose?
Yeah.
I don't. This does not smell like an IPA. This smells kind of. I don't know. What does it smell like?
See, it does smell IPA-ish to me.
There's something different about this IPA. It kind of smells like an IPA. It looks like an amber. I mean, not that you're gonna tell really from whether it's an IPA or not, but it kind of tastes like cookies.
Cookies? How does it taste like cookies? I don't think Shane has recovered from Beer Fest.
This Saturday was a write-off, man.
It was.
I on Saturday, I actually woke up pretty early, 7 o'clock or something. And I felt okay, but I could definitely tell about halfway through the day that my energy level was pretty middle of the road.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have a hangover. I was not too bad. So yeah, but hey, speaking of this, before we talk more about the beers this evening, Dave, actually give us your first review of what's going on here with that beer, the Steamworks Frambozen.
Well, it smells like freaking fruit juice.
Okay, but does it taste? Is it in the lager? I was gonna say lager, but I was fighting my own brain. I meant to say what's the beer you drank in Europe?
Oh,
Radler.
Radler. That was the word I was searching for. Is it like a Radler? Like, does it taste?
It is a little, actually. It is a little. It would be. I could be completely wrong here, but I would class it as a more German style, actually.
Okay.
Because I found in my very small experience with the German stuff that it tastes more like a beer than the Dutch stuff that I had, which is more I don't want to say juice like, but it's definitely more easy to ignore the fact that it's considered a kind of beer.
So before we get more into the Sweet Leaf, Dave, what exactly kind of beer is the Frambozen?
That's a really good question. Let me see if it says something on here.
Like, is it an ale, a lager?
Okay, let's see. Wow. Nope, nothing, man.
Doesn't say.
You
so
gotta
I'm going to go on
figure it out.
Suggest that it's an ale with a heck of a lot of strawberries in it.
I think that's fair. They do call it a strong beer.
Okay.
It's 7%, so it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it kind of whacks you over the head.
Interesting.
They actually list. Okay, so they do give you. It's got interesting stuff here. So malts, Pilsner malts, caramel, hops. What is it? Calia? Does that make sense to you guys?
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
It looks like that. It's kind of hard to read. It looks like
right.
it says Calia or something like that.
Cool.
Unique raspberries, color ruby red, and the beer units. They actually put the beer units on here. 16, which yes makes sense. This would be another one of them gateway beers.
A gateway beer into
beerness. Yes, because yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not super juicy. So I'm guessing that they didn't add the juice later. I I have no idea. Maybe they did, but if they did, they didn't go nutty with it because you can taste it, but it's not overpowering.
That's what I meant by cookies. This to me has kind of a nutty flavor, nutty sort of essence to it.
Sure. Okay, I can get that.
Okay, that's what I meant.
So I have to say that, and I didn't want to sort of, oversell it or undersell it or any kind of selling it. I've had Sweet Leaf many times, and sometimes if I feel like having an IPA and for whatever reason I can't get my hands on a Fat Tug or something, this is the one I go for. This to me is number 2 as far as local IPAs goes.
And your number 1 is still Fat Tug?
Number 1 is still Fat Tug, but this to me comes in as a close second. It's hoppy. It's got that bitterness that you want. It's still easy to drink. Eminently quaffable.
That, punch in the face hoppiness of Fat Tug, but it's definitely got you by the collars a little bit. Not a lot, but it's not quite the choke. But it's got you. It's kind of like it's threatening you. It's like, you dirty rat. It's not dirty rat. It's not straight.
But you know what? On a hot day, I could take this and I could gulp it.
Yeah,
I could do that with Fat Tug too. There's IPAs out there that I can't do that with.
Now, beers that are coming out this fall. This to me is a beer that's definitely their summer-ish kind of thing, but maybe it's a regular. I'm not sure. But beers that are coming out in the next couple of months for sort of the fall, like pre-Christmas kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Have you looked up anything? Have you been paying attention to what brews are hitting the world here?
Well, I think we're going to get all those old standbys, the pumpkin beers. I think they're all going to come back. Okay. I think we're going to get a healthy dose of pumpkin stuff. Having said that, I think there's also breweries out there that are aware that people are getting sick of the pumpkin and are eager for them to try something different. So I could see some breweries coming up with some different things. I'm not aware of anything specific, but I'd just be very surprised if we don't see something different. And I can see some, chocolatey kind of stuff coming. Maybe some other things that are fairly different. I don't know what those would be, but those would probably be in the porter and stout realm. So we'll see. I know that Central City is coming out with their pumpkin snickerdoodle.
Ooh, I would be into trying that one.
Yeah, I think we've done it before, haven't we?
I think so.
Could have. I don't remember drinking it, but that doesn't mean we didn't do it.
Yeah.
As evidenced by tonight.
So yeah, I mean, there's also, the Schadenfreude or Fruit or whatever, from Parallel 49, that will come out. So yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of the same stuff that we've had before, but hopefully we'll see some experimentation. And I mean, with October coming up and the legalization of marijuana, we'll probably start seeing some cannabis beers.
Yeah, okay. Cannabis beers, I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be people that love them, but I don't know.
I just can't see that being flavor that most people would be interested in getting into.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, if they're trying to.
Do any of us really know what it would taste like, though, if it was like brewed in a beer?
Personally, I'm going with very much akin to shit.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I know that I mean, because Canada's got the whole new thing. I see that it's going to explode. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be quite popular. But I have an issue with not an issue. I barely like the smell of weed. Like I tolerate the smell.
same.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you have some really low quality stuff that smells like skunks, had sex in your nasal cavity. But I'm not really big on the idea of actually drinking it. So I mean, there's some people that really love the smell, of different strains of weed and things like that. So I can't say that it's totally disgusting, but I am not 100% on board with it just because it's my personal preference, right? It's not something that I would leap out. I'm sure that we would try it somewhere because I'm sure that some brewery is going to release a beer with cannabis in it. So
it's
why the hell not? But I don't know. I'm not leaping up and down going, oh my God, I can't wait until October, was it 17th or something? Yeah, I don't know. And they're claiming, one of the articles that I read a little while ago was there's a brewery that's claiming that there's no detrimental effect. Like there's no, like you don't get high from drinking the weed. So, but isn't
it's
it
just going to be a
supposed
marketing gimmick is all it will be.
Yeah,
I can't see
I
you
don't
being
know.
able to actually ingest the THC.
I mean, we're gonna
through
have
a
enough
brewed
issue
beer.
with people getting high and driving cars and things like that that we don't need to combine it with weed and alcohol in the same device, as in this being the device. But I don't know. I'm not an expert, so I don't really know how the intoxication. Like, if you brew beer, does it kill off the THC? Like, does it chemically change it so it's not what it? I don't know. Is it actually going to be what people expect, but there's some chemistry to it? I mean, I guess people cook it and throw it into food items, so maybe there's not a big concern. I don't know. I don't know how it works, and quite honestly, it's not. I'm not, again, as I'm not jumping up and down. But there's going to be a market, and they're going to love it. So who the hell am I to say? I like this. So.
So Beer Fest.
Yes, that's exactly
let's talk about it for a little bit.
Yes.
And Dave, you can listen in and pine about how you didn't go and maybe make efforts to come next year. Now, Shane, we did.
Didn't I say that almost on the exact same day last year today?
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks, man.
So,
Thanks,
Shane, we actually took video of the Beer Fest this year. We did little snippets.
I don't know where it is. Somewhere.
We did little snippets after every beer that we had, and we did some interstitial shots, and we're going to edit those together and put them on YouTube. Yeah. Hopefully within the next week or so.
Sure.
Why not?
Sure. Why not? Okay. I haven't actually watched them because the camera is actually still in my bag that I had in Victoria.
Okay.
That I packed up there, but
we're gonna find a way to get them out there. But
they are definitely more coherent than the.
They're way more coherent. It's so professional.
But as time goes on, we do.
Our friends around us start
show signs of intoxication.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and our friends started to, act a little bit silly in the background.
Yeah, they never did that. No. Like my dad definitely makes a guest appearance to the point of he basically tells us how we're dorks, or something. At least that's what I remember hearing.
Okay, so right off the top, what beer stands out to you as being a good beer from Beer Fest? Obviously, we didn't get to try everything.
No. We tried about 12 different beers, I think, or at least I know I did.
I tried 20.
You tried? How did you get in the other 8? Oh my god. I tried. I know I tried at least 12. I may have had more. I don't quite honestly remember.
I think you did actually.
But the beer that I had was the one that I think stood out for me. I think would be like the third one, which we did record most of the ones that.
Yes, we did.
we did record most of the beers that we consumed, but I remember like the second or third one being my favorite. So I'm not going to tell you what it.
This is what it's like when I drank too much today. Bye.
That's basically how a lot of our videos on Beer Fest Day kind of look.
Out. That's
yeah.
Thank you for your. Anyway, thank you for your helping. Yeah, that's what I keep getting told. But overall, I mean, I'll speak in sort of general terms. Like the event overall was pretty good. The fact that we lasted as long as we did, I think, was a testament to the quality of the event, because we were there in the pouring rain from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The event at 4 o'clock, right? Yes, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we arrived at like 20 after 3, I think, because we thought, you know, the lineup was going to be quite insane. But this year it wasn't. The lineup was actually quite tame, so we were able to to get in early. We got our tokens, and then we had to wait around for about 20 minutes, half an hour, before we actually were allowed into the event. But the fact that we didn't wimp out, that we actually went through, and it was raining pretty heavily at the beginning, sort of tapered off a little bit, and then it rained again, tapered off
quite
a little bit, and
really heavily.
And then one of those moments, it was pissing with rain. And I know we took refuge under a tent for a little while, but not too long. But yeah, it was. But the fact is, more people kept coming, and more people kept coming, so it actually filled up by the time halfway through. So,
and that's
like,
normal for a Friday. I mean,
so because people could have stayed home, they could have not bothered. I mean, the tickets are what, $40 a piece, $45 a piece. So it kind of, it's just one of those things, it could go either way. But I was happy that we stayed I think we stayed right till the end, almost to the end anyway.
Almost to the end. I think we left about 20 minutes before.
Yeah, because it was getting dark, and we were,
it's getting dark. We were getting hungry. We were out of tokens.
Yeah. Actually, that was the big thing about the event. The event this year, the token purchase, it went up to $2? $2 for a plastic token that you would exchange for 4 ounces.
Or 1 4-ounce beer.
So that was okay.
So this is the cup you get. It's plastic. Yes. And they fill it up to here. Okay. So that's 4 ounces of beer. You're paying $2 for that sample. After having 20 of those, that's $40 for what amounts to about 80 ounces of beer, which is actually a lot more than a growler, which would explain why Saturday was a write-off. But
I mean, and I guess the discussion is $2 too expensive for a token, and I think the answer is yes, but it didn't seem to stop people from buying them. So, I mean, it might have hampered the amount that I would buy, because last year I think it was $1.50 last year.
Yes, $1.50 last year, and a few years ago it was $1.25.
So, we were able to. I mean, at the end of the day, we had a good time either way, so it didn't really matter. But it definitely was a. It was as good as the previous years. I don't think it was better than the previous years.
No,
but it was as good. They hit the same bar. I don't know what they could do to increase the events time, like the Bennett or whatever you want to call it. But overall,
what I would like to see them do
wasn't there.
Yeah, what I would like to see them do is, from as far as how they can control things, is to change, revisit their business model. Look, the Great Canadian Beer Fest in Victoria has been going on for what, 26? This is the 26th year, I believe.
Yeah.
And in that time, their model hasn't really changed at all. In the meantime, there are events just like it happening in communities across BC all summer long. In fact, this coming up weekend is the same event in Whistler. And so there's a lot more competition for the dollars. And this is why the tickets don't sell as quickly. It used to be that, at Beer Fest, when the tickets went on sale, they literally, for both days, sold out that same day. This year, tickets were available at the door. Now, that's the first time ever that ticket sales were so slow that you could buy tickets at the door.
Now, is that because of the lack of, the increase in the tokens?
I think that plays a part in it. I think it's also that, if you live in certain parts of BC, why would you come to Victoria for a beer fest when you know that there's a beer fest happening probably in your own community with the same breweries and stuff, at some other time?
Exactly, yeah.
There is some time I'd like to go to the Whistler one. But I mean, they happen in Duncan, like on the island, Duncan and Imo, further up island. They happen in Vancouver. It's all over the place. It's almost like this tour that goes around, and they all like pack up together and they move around from city to city. So, I mean, there's just so much competition out there that I think they need to revisit their business model and find ways to get people through the gates. But I mean, it was never a cheap event for the consumer, but they have made it almost so that it's not worth it. In fact, we were speaking to some long time people who've gone to Beer Fest for a long time. In fact, they volunteered there. And I asked them about the cost of the tokens. They said, yeah, it's starting to put it out of reach.
Right.
And that's a bad thing. It seemed like the price of the tokens, that was a resounding no from everybody, that it needs to go back for next year to $1.50. The other thing that hurts the Beer Fest, and this is something that the Beer Fest people have no control over, I don't believe, is the fact that the U.S. brewers used to come up a lot for it. We used to get Hub, we used to get Pike, we used to get Elysian, all these Rogue used to come up. All these big Western U.S. brewers would come up to the Great Canadian Beer Fest, and their booths were like these highly entertaining things. They had all this swag and stuff. It was really cool. And then the BC changed all their laws, and it became a little bit too expensive for these guys to come, so they've stopped coming. And that's not something that the Beer Fest people can help, but it would I think it would make for a better event if these breweries could come back, because that's one thing. I mean, I always loved going to the Hub and Pike tents because they were fantastic.
I wonder if the BC brewers could take a page from those guys' book, though. Up the game,
Well, and I think they do. I mean, it's like Bose is from Ontario. They came and they had these little bottle openers that people could take. I know when Steam Whistle used to come out, they don't come out anymore for some reason. They used to sometimes have some swag on their table that people could take for free. I find a lot of the BC brewers, they do bring a little bit of swag, but you have to buy it. There's nothing. They don't give away anything for free there. Actually, I almost caught myself because I got this from Bose. And then the next booth that I went to also had bottle openers on them, and I went to go reach for one, and then I saw the sign said bottle openers $2. So I almost stole it. But well, I was thinking it was just like, hey, just grab one. Okay. No.
So Dave, when are you going to come to Beer Fest?
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can actually manage next year.
It's a fun event, dude.
Sounds pretty good.
Thanks for your commitment, Dave.
So the standouts for me, and there was a few. There wasn't one thing that really sort of made me go, "Oh yeah!" But from Bose was the tag work wit beer with quince. So this was again a wit beer, and it had quince juice in it. And this was an inaugural release from Tag Work, which is a part of Bose and Friends series. So I guess it was a collaborative.
Right.
And then, of course, I really enjoyed the Fruity Mother Pucker from Axe and Barrel.
The Fruity Mother Pucker was actually a surprise. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, and yeah,
it was really good. But you know what? We missed some stuff, dude.
Oh, we totally
like, I'm just looking through the list. It's like the BC Ale trailer. We didn't go to it all. Like, I completely missed it. Like, I have no idea where it was, but there's some stuff in here. I was like, whoa, I would have loved to have tried this, including from Fieldhouse, a salted black porter.
Really?
Man, I would have liked to have tried that. And we may get a chance to if this is sort of like a fall kind of thing.
Well, I know I've seen some Fieldhouse.
I've seen some Fieldhouse as well.
Yep.
Let me see here. A lot of the local breweries didn't really have anything special, which is a little bit disappointing. And that's another thing. The local breweries here, the Vancouver Island ones, need to up their game.
How so?
You know, like Phillips and all those guys, they just show up with their regular run-of-the-mill stuff. I want to try something different at Beer Fest. Right? So it kind of behooves these brewers like Vancouver Island Brewery, Phillips, Category 12, whoever, to do something special for Beer Fest.
Okay.
That's what I would like to see.
Like what would be your sort of number one thing you'd want to see? Like what kind of style of beer would you like to see?
At Beer Fest?
Yeah, because a couple of years ago we had like everyone doing sours.
Yeah.
What would be the style you yourself like an IPA?
Barley wines.
Oh, really? Well, the first beer that we had at the event this year was the Thor's Hammer. It was
a cask of Thor's Hammer at City.
It was, amazing.
Now, having said that, we did miss out. Driftwood actually had a cask of their barley wine, the Old Cellar Dweller.
Okay. Oh, they did?
Yeah, they did.
I'm surprised you guys didn't hit that.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
Are we going to do it this
year? My life is not complete now.
Are we doing ours this year?
Oh, yeah, we'll do it this year.
Okay. I'm going to remember this.
How long has our Cellar Dweller been sitting around?
It's been sitting around for, it'll be 2 years in January.
Has it really been that long? Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Who knew? Who knew time has passed like this? Dave, what will it take for us to get you to come to Beer Fest?
Oh,
I'm waiting, Dave.
I do not know.
Wow. What if the style of beer, like I was asking Alan, was of a certain style, barley wines? He thought, what if it was all Radlers? What if everyone had a Radler to try?
That could be interesting. Yeah, I can see that.
All right.
Well, I'd like
so next year, Dave,
I'd like me some porters too. I'm sure there was some porters there.
That the theme next year.
You know what? There wasn't a lot of porters.
Really?
No, there were porters there, but not a lot.
Okay.
I think we had one. Just one though.
Yeah.
I guess the problem with the porter is that it's a freaking meal.
It is.
It's a little heavy duty.
It's heavy duty, and they don't put out a lot of them in the summer. So we're getting kind of like the tail end of a lot of the summer beers. Yes, there is some fall stuff, but we're getting a lot of the summery type of things. There was one from Parallel 49 that I wish I had taken the chance to try. Is their very cherry smoothie sour.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. I would have liked
to. They'll have that on the shelves?
They might. We'd have to figure that out. Oh, before we go, I just wanted to point out probably one of the best beers that we did in 2017 was the 30th anniversary Herminator that was conditioned in bourbon barrels. That was something that we were kind of thinking that they had done just special for their 30th anniversary. I saw a Facebook post this week that they have for Herminator, they are doing it again for this year. So there will be bourbon barrel aged Herminators available for sale.
Nice.
This year. So that's awesome.
We have to buy them all. Every single.
I still have one from last year.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one. I enjoyed that.
All right. Well, on that note, it's late.
Here it is.
We want to drink that beer that Alan has right there. Now. Quite honestly, I've forgotten what I've got on my shelf. I'll bring it out next week. I'm kind of curious. But as I was saying, on that note, thank you for watching. Drink more beer. Do all the doobly-doo things that we'd like you to do, like subscribe to our channel. We're up 3 subscribers from last week. Who knew?
Whoop!
So awesome. Thank you for coming. Hopefully we won't bore you to death because, we should just invite every one of our subscribers to be here every week and just have 18 or 20 of us all talking at the same time. It'd be great.
You know what? We should do that sometime. We should actually invite people to sort of guest in on the show, like Dave McCann. We should get him in.
I agree.
On the show.
I totally think we should, because if we don't, then we're just complete jerks. I mean, when it comes down to it, we're just hogging the limelight. It's all about us, And besides, Dave, I got a new webcam, so
you know what we should also do?
How do I look?
You know what we should also do? We should do a collaboration show with the Crafty girls.
I am so tired of being told off by their fans. You know what? Actually, next week we should talk about slime and bring out slime that we made. Because, why not?
All right.
But anyway, thank you, everyone. We'll see you all next week. And next week, we don't know what the beer is, but come watch, you'll find out. So, Alan, as always, take us out.